Friday!
Hello.
We've made it to Friday. It's the first Friday in like about 3 months that I haven't had a drink as well midweek. So proud of myself that I've made it like 5 days with no alcohol.
Well done.
I know. Happy Friday, everybody. Mayhem, Fit and Soul Squad in the house. You've got me, Thomas, and the gorgeous Jo today. Keeping it real. This gorgeous Friday. Well, I'm saying gorgeous Friday. I don't know if you've seen the stories, but it's I posted this morning. I dropped Caleb off at school, and I said, "And you'll come with us. We'll go for a little bit of a walk," which I normally just walk on my own. And it's like this weird freezing fog. It's like something of a horror movie. Like it's literally like everything's coated all over the seaside in this thick fog. And I took a photo. I took loads of photos, but everything looks black and white because of the fog. It's just so bizarre. And it's like that was a colour photo.
Yeah, I saw that. I couldn't believe that because I thought, oh, that's like really moody. And I can't believe that was a colour photo.
Colour photo, just taking a photo on the phone. But it is like the foghorns are just going crazy like all night. And yeah, it's lifted a little bit, but it's just everything shrouded. And then as I'm walking around the pond, there's all the seagulls and the ducks and everything, the geese, the swans, all obviously having their breakfast. And I'm like, that does not look like a bird. And I'm like, my eyes are like really bad. So as I'm getting closer, I'm looking, it was like a whole family of rats, like sat in the middle of the seagulls and stuff in the park. So obviously me, I'm like, oh, so I'm taking a video of them. Neil's like,
oh my God.
Seagulls were just like literally looking at them. Rats not fazed by the size of these birds at all. Rats are just like having their breakfast. So yeah, everyone was out to play this morning early on.
It's funny actually when you're when you're early, that's when you see, I've seen a few rats like if you're early, but I actually had a day off today, so I've managed to do my hair nice. So Stu took the girls into school instead, so I had a bit of a relax.
Yeah. Are you and Mr. Stu doing anything nice this afternoon then?
No, he's working. No.
Oh, he's got to work. Oh, bless him.
But he took them in, so that was quite nice, so I could have a bit of a lounge.
Yeah. And Thomas, it's so nice.
Oh, she's frozen.
You froze there.
So where have you been?
Yeah. I've been to Amsterdam for a long weekend to see some friends. Really good. I've never been before.
I've never been.
So it was really good. And then I've just got back from Tenerife.
Well, so what's happening like into Amsterdam and Tenerife and stuff? Like, what's the situation? What's the energy like over there?
Amsterdam was, it was just before the restrictions were increased. So you had to wear masks in the streets and in shops, the same as the UK before we've gone into the second lockdown. So all the shops were open. It was just, obviously social distancing and masks, wash your hands, all that kind of stuff. Tenerife, again, similar, but it was very, very quiet. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Lots
of places even busy in the winter normally, isn't it? Because it's always good weather.
Good, yeah. So we stayed in the north for the first half, and then we travelled down to the south. I drove in Tenerife, drove in Spain. It was just very quiet. Lots of big hotels just closed off, taped up, restaurants closed, bars closed. But the beaches were still quite busy, but it just felt a bit eerie. So we were walking through some of the places, and there was literally not a soul for like 10 minutes, and we just kept looking at each other thinking, whoa, we can't be the only people here.
Yeah.
It was odd. Yeah, quite odd. When are
you going next, Miss Chalmers?
When am I going next on holiday?
Where are you going, and when are you going next?
Well, our friends are still out in Tenerife, so we've been invited back in January. And then depending on when they can get back to America and Los Angeles, we'll probably go out there as well next year. That's if I've got a job and I can actually afford all of this. Yeah. But that's just a little
crinkle details.
Tick a box exercise.
You're gonna have to get a job where you can work from anywhere, because you're not going to go back to like being
Yeah.
stuck somewhere. You've done so much traveling and made the most of your time, which is just amazing to see.
Yeah, a lot of the jobs that I've applied for in the last couple of weeks, I've applied for over, well, nearly 30 now in the last 2 weeks. I was applying for jobs whilst I was over in Tenerife as well, because you
Yeah.
can. Literally, a lot of them are now working from home, working from home, working from home,
Yeah.
with no end sight in when that would end, and
Yeah.
so on. That's been interesting to see the complete shift in that from, you know, what I'm used to, as you
Mhm.
know, 9 to 5 corporate.
You-
If
you-
they are you change to your desk, otherwise you're not working. What are you doing? So
Absolutely. Let's see how it goes then.
yeah. So I'm back now, and I'm going to have to catch up on what's been going on.
Yes, I know. I haven't seen you. And Joe, how's your week been so far?
Good, yeah. Just working and just good, nice.
We had a team meeting the other day, didn't we? We had one monthly team meeting.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, good.
Priorities.
Nice to, like what we say, just planning, isn't it? So it's all about the planning, and then there's just so you've got that, you know what's going on, and it's just less of the panic and stuff. So that's good. And it just gives you a nice focus. And what I like to see is like in the soul system and in the other groups that I'm in with you guys, it's all the different topics that keep coming up and people sharing stuff and that. It's great, isn't it? I mean, and then you just see that common thread, and I'm just loving like people sharing like aha moments, and like Brooke's on, isn't she? And she's shared a lush moment, and then people having like realizations, and I love it. You know what I mean? Like you just sat there, and then these things come up, and it just gives you a nice boost, doesn't it?
100%. It just really makes you feel so humbled. And I've sent an email out. If you're on an email community, you've got an email from me like this morning. I got up and I was like, I've just got to say this, like, because there are so many people saying to me, like, their soul feels heavy right now, that they're just, even people that are generally quite optimistic. I don't know if it's something to do with going into lockdown too. A lot of our friends in the States and LA and stuff are on lockdown again. The shops being boarded up, shit's hitting the fan over the elections. Like, there just seems to be a lot of unrest and unsettlement. So how are you guys on the call feeling about going into this second phase of lockdown, like wherever you are? And it was also interesting speaking to Miriam last night on my spiritual practitioner call, because she's in Sweden, and like they haven't got like lockdowns and stuff. So she's like in a very different headspace to how everybody else was on the call, who was mostly either England, US, somebody from Australia, who they're not in the same lockdown situation, and you could tell energetically how some people feel very tired by it. So I'd love to know, guys, how are you feeling if you're watching this like now or on playback? Thomas, how are you feeling about going into it? Like lockdown, the sequel.
Me? Sorry. To be honest, I'm not that sort of bothered about it, to be honest. It's not really going to change what I've been doing, apart from the travel. You saw what I did the last time. I just focused on my running and keeping up a routine, and really not sort of playing the news a lot. I mean, I know I've had it on, but I'm following the election in America.
Let me know who wins, won't you? Like,
it's going on and on and on. I've turned it off now because it's getting on my nerves. But
I think I had it on for about 5 minutes yesterday morning. I put the telly on just for a bit of light in that room, and I was like, put it on. Hadn't got to the mute button yet. Started like pottering and tidying, and all I could hear was Piers Morgan's job, and so I was like, oh, this. I don't know how people do this on a morning. Like, it's so upset with your energy.
Yeah, it's not a good start to the day, Piers Morgan.
No.
But yeah, I don't really feel that bothered about lockdown. The revenge.
The revenge.
I think in a month it'll be different, won't it? Joe, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you guys, so I work from home, and my husband's worked from home since the start. Well, the first one since March. So in terms of, I can hear myself. Am I?
Okay.
Oh, I can hear myself. Anyway, so in terms of being in a little bubble, like I am in my own little bubble, and I tend not to, like, I think it was just yesterday as well. I thought, oh, I've heard something about Trump and Biden. I better have a quick. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm pretty clueless. So really, you know, in terms of like me and my husband, we're just getting on in a little bubble. But obviously, the girls are still at school. So I think with the kids being at school, it doesn't. It's weird because it just then it's like it doesn't seem real to me if the kids are at school. I think when the kids are off school, it just seems like realer, if you know what I mean. And because then they've got their own lives at school and friends, and it's not really doesn't seem much different for them. I think I kind of just notice it more with my parents. So like my dad, bless him, he's always watching the news and he's like a source of information, you know, which I like, you know, I try not to get too into, but you know, so, and I think it's just, I'm kind of just seeing the impact on him a bit more, to be honest. He was just little pottering around and getting out and about safely, whereas now, you know, I'm saying you need to just be careful. And I think you'll very shortly, apparently letters are going out for people to be shielding again and stuff. So it's kind of, I'm seeing the impact on him actually, just of him not having that interaction with people, you know. But I have to say,
guy as well, isn't he? Like John, for you that don't know guys, like he's always worked, hasn't he? He was like he did his lollipop, like he was always really active, he's very sociable, and I think for people like that, it's so it's just harder, isn't it? Like to be constantly.
Yeah, and I think that's what he's struggling with. My dad is all about, he's a real getting out, speaking to people. If he walks along the street, he chats to people. He's that. So I think it's you know, I can see it's like, you know, it's difficult for him, you know.
I think the first time we went into this, like how from my perspective was, it was a bit like shock at first, like, you know, actually closing stuff down, like that'll never happen, and then it did. So we had the shock factor, and then it was like, oh, it's a bit like a holiday. Like I was drinking wine and we're having like not takeaways, but you know, it was, I don't know, it was like that spirit of the war. Like everyone came together, didn't there? And everyone was trying to help each other, and there was that real sense of camaraderie and clapping for the NHS on a Thursday and stuff. This time going into it, I don't know, it feels different. Like I think there's like a change. I think we're all a bit tired now. I think businesses are thinking, give me a fucking break. Like, you know, opening and closing and not know what to do, and people putting weddings off and, you know, just kicking the can further down the. So I think people are feeling a little bit more like, when will this end?
I think the time of year is not helping either. The late nights have kicked in, and obviously a lot of people, you know, if you suffer from SAD, you know, that's not going to help, because it's just another thing to deal with. And obviously Christmas is coming up, and people are just already, well, Christmas is cancelled and all that kind of stuff.
No, and it's not cancelled. However, like I did have absolute shit pains of the day, because I was like, yeah, but it's November, so essential shops are surely like toy shops and stuff, but no, they cancelled those for guests as well. So I was like, then just went into panic, went on the Smith's website, kept crashing because of the demand, because people were so and then Neil and I were like sitting just trying to desperately get all of his stuff off his like Santa list, because he'd already written it, he's very organised, panicking, thinking, God, can you imagine? Because, and then thinking, can you imagine what the queues are going to be like in places when they open them up in December for kids stuff and that? And I was like, I don't care if I don't get one present, as long as Caleb's got what he wants for Christmas. He's 7. Like, we can't ruin the kids' Christmas. Like, they've had enough taken off them this year. So yeah, stuff like that was more, I was like, oh my God, panic here. You know, I'll do without toilet roll, but I really need Caleb's Christmas list sorted.
We've always got tinsel.
Yes, and what? I was like, where will I like browsing like 500 shops for the perfect wrapping paper? Like, that's not going to happen this year. Do you know what I mean?
But the majority of Christmas shopping now is done online anyway, so it shouldn't really.
But I'm one of them people, I like to be in there touching, Thomas. Like, you know, clothes and stuff for people. Like, I like to go in and I like to, you know, mosey and buy cushions, and, you know, it's just not the same as buying everything online. My sister always thinks it's cheating. Kelly says it's cheating if you buy everything online. She says you have to get the steps in, you have to pound the streets and do the photos.
I like it. That's for me, that's part of it as well.
Yeah. I like going out, having a good day, coming back with loads of bags of shopping and full of Prosecco.
But you can get that delivered so you don't have to carry it.
Oh,
True.
Yeah. But it will be interesting to see if there is still that same spirit of togetherness as we go through this one. I feel like it's very different. I don't know if you think like, because you loved that sense of kindness and compassion the first time, didn't you? You loved how it brought people together. You really noticed that in your community.
I hope that somehow continues. I don't know in what guise, but you know, the clap for the NHS. You know, that really surprised me, and especially when you sat around and I kept forgetting about it every day, and then you'd hear like applause, and you'd be like, what is that? And then you go out, and literally the whole street's out, and it's you know, really nice. And
Yeah,
I don't know what that will look like now. It's probably going to be something like clap for wine. I don't know.
I have no idea, but like there
clap for Christmas. I don't know.
Clap for Christmas.
Well, yeah, you've got
there's
a connotation there, but you know what I mean.
There is a lot of unrest. What I would say from a coaching perspective and from a spiritual perspective is it's really important now that we're looking after each other, like that we're looking after our own energy and thinking about, like, again, what can we take from this? So if it's a month or if it's longer, how can we use this time? A lot of people felt like they could have used the time better the first time around, like it almost went and it was 6 months and we'd had the kids off and we hadn't done anything and So it's like, what can you do now? If it is just 4 weeks, how can you use this 4 weeks? And it might be to get your online shopping done and stuff, or it might be to get the house, you know, cleaned up, ready for, put your Christmas decors up. Like, how are you going to make this time and bring some joy into it? Because what we know is if everyone's feeling restless, then everyone's going to feel restless. So we really need to take care of our own energy, because the power of one is what is key in this. Because if everybody look after their own energy and, you know, with the goal of bringing kindness, bringing compassion, bringing positivity just to their sphere of influence, then that, if you imagine the ramifications of that are huge, like globally. So that's my call out to everybody is, how can you use this time and how can you be the light now in your life and for other people who might need it more than you do right now, okay? Jen's just said, wonder how Black Friday will work. Seems to be going down. I have no idea. Probably going to be online, won't it? Hi, Leslie. It's nice for you to be here as well. But what I'm going to do is just pop in the chat here, guys. This is our last shout out for you because it's our retreat tomorrow. It's our virtual online mindset mastery retreat. It's the last one of 2020. And honestly, they're just such fab events, aren't they? Well, both of you, Thomas, you even one in person. You came up from Leeds.
I did. It was amazing. Really good.
I feel like now, more than at any other time in our, we need this injection of just like friggin' sunshine into our lives. Like Cheryl and I have been working all week on, you know, like the final details of the agenda and stuff, and the goal is really to help us clear out some stuff that's not serving us, bring in some stuff that's going to really serve us powerfully and getting us all focused on some point in the future that makes us all feel good. So we've got some really fun ways of doing that. And the goal is that everybody leaves feeling several percentage points lighter in spirit by 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Woo.
We're doing it. We're going harder, going home.
And it, like, I've done these before, and it is like you just get such a buzz, you know. And yes, we're doing it virtually, but it's still great, and just the energy, and like you do carry that. It really lifts you, and then it's just something that you've got, which you can like refer back to.
Yeah, 100%.
Your thought, anything. Do you know what I mean? It does. It's a real boost, which is I mean, God, you couldn't need it more than now.
The one I went on it was January, wasn't it?
January, yeah.
So that January to me is the most depressing month of the year. I love Christmas. I love winter. It's my favorite time of year. But January, no. It should go straight from December to February, in my opinion. But literally, Mark and I, when we came to it, we left and we were driving back to his dad's, and literally we were absolutely high as kites talking about it. That's all we talked about all the way home, and
love it.
It's just an amazing event. And if you can,
it's an experience, isn't it? It's an experience.
That's the word, an experience. Yeah,
you don't.
But you need to believe it. Really, it does work.
You've got to want to be there. And the thing is with it is like, you know, you're going to be there with other people who want to look forward and who want to improve themselves as well. So at the minute we are surrounded by a lot of people who are like, oh, bloody hell, this and that, and da-da-da-da. And like, it's just nice to come together. We'll have 4 hours, we'll have a break and stuff in the middle, but there'll be group work, there'll be coaching, there'll be mentoring, there'll be some teaching. Like, honestly, the agenda is killer. So it's only up until 8 o'clock tonight that you can get the tickets. If it's like an early Christmas present to yourself, and if you are spending that time one-on-one with us, like I say all the time, companies pay £2,000 to £4,000 for an hour with us for a similar kind of thing. This is 4 hours with us for £97. So like, do it. Like, just do it. It's the last one this year. We don't have a date for the next one, but it won't be anytime soon. So get your tickets and come and join us. Oh, Brooke's it's her first one. She's really excited. I know I'm excited as well.
Oh, wow.
Because we only met Brooke through a presentation I did about LinkedIn in a group in June or July, I think, wasn't it, Brooke? So it's been like a whirlwind romance.
You'll love it.
Oh, Brooke, you're going to love it.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome. Right, guys, we're going to love you and leave you. I'm off to speak to a client at 1 o'clock, which I'm really looking forward to. I've got some client drop-ins this afternoon. So thank you guys for coming and joining us. It's lush to see you. Thomas, it's so nice to have you back in the country.
I know, nice to see you, Thomas.
It's nice to be back and nice to see you, lovely lady.
Love you all, guys. Hopefully see you
Have
on
a fun weekend.
the retreat. See you next week. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.